more do you want tacked onto this? I turned myself into a pickle and 9/11 was an inside job? Was it?
It's Pandora from Pandora's Box here, and welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm excited because this is the first Sims video I'm doing where my PlayStation doesn't sound like a jet engine taking off. Everybody uses that comparison, but it literally does sound like that. I took it apart, put it back together after cleaning the fan, and it sounds so much better right now. But today I am introducing you guys to the last two of the are they the third generation? The third generation of universes. And this is my vampire family. There's a little bit of drama, there's a little bit more gameplay in this one, I think, because one of the characters has to deal with some stuff that happened when I did a live stream on Twitch. Literally only 2 people, I think, saw it. So not many people know what happened, but this was going to be a story about explaining, obviously, just like I have in the past, what has happened, like, so far. But I went ahead and I played around with one of my side sims, which turned into me getting one of these characters involved. And it's not a mess, but it's like, I wasn't ready to do this. It was going to happen eventually, but I kind of wasn't ready for it. Anyways, guys, let's get into this. Alright, guys. So we're, getting right into this with, I don't know why. It must have been because I played Tanner last. But he was the very, very first of all the Universe kids. Or, not all the Universe kids. Obviously there was October and Carter, but this is the first of the third generation's kids, Tanner. He grew up in a small apartment with his brother Xander. He was the first. So they lived in Willow Creek, and I can't remember what my story was. I think it was that Carter went to the city, visited the city, because this is when I bought the pack with San Myshuno in it. So I wanted a reason to, like, go there. And so I made it a story where Carter was a criminal, and there was, like, his job, basically, because he was still minor, but he was eventually, like, the leader of a gang, and they decided, like, it would be easier to conduct business in a city. So they moved to a really small, cramped apartment. Just Juliet, which is his mom, Carter and himself, and then later on, Xander was born. This kid had a lot of issues growing up. This is still back when I had them on auto-aging and stuff like that, so when I missed a birthday, they would take on their own traits. So Tanner is lazy, romantic, and erratic, and I think I chose romantic. That was the only one I got to choose, but he was lazy and erratic. At the time, it was still called insane, but I get why they changed it. But he was my favorite when he became a teenager. Like, between Carter and October, just seeing Sims grow up that I created from Pandora. Obviously, like, he was the first teenager in a whole group of upcoming Sims, so it was like I automatically attached myself to him. But there was this huge story where the game kind of glitched out, and Carter, his dad, got the neighbor girl. He knocked up the neighbor girl, and what happened was, if we go to the apartment where I tried to move her in, there's still a bassinet in there to see if it would fix something, and it creeps me out a little bit. But she ended up just, like, spawning bassinets and never giving birth, and I had to actually delete her sim. The sim was Penny Pizzazz, which I like her. A lot of people don't like her. Some people do when I see them in Let's Plays, and I see her and I'm like, oh my god, it's haunting. It's actually haunting. But he used to visit the neighbor girl, so it was like, how do I explain that? he would go and escape his home life by going and like playing video games with her and talking. She liked kids, so what, like, he didn't know anything that was going on behind his back with his dad or anything. So he made this thing like as a kid, and he lived in a messed up situation that he just ended up kind of making up a ridiculous story. um that being that Penny never existed, but he would go and like go out in the hall and pretend he would like fantasize about it and just like talk to himself, and he'd have somebody to talk to, and that's kind of what made him spin into this erratic trait. um but that's pretty much what he is. And then he became a teenager, started looking up vampire stuff because he swore to his dad like he was gonna leave, and he was gonna leave far away, and he got really into vampires, and he's like, I'm gonna be a vampire one day. And Carter was like, are you serious? They don't even exist. Basically, that's how he was. And he came back after turning into a vampire, and he was like, I told you I'd become a vampire, basically. And he tried to fight Carter, and Carter beat his ass, but it was just funny. I had him fight him twice, and he still lost, but he was like rubbing his immortality in Carter's face and everything like that. Okay, so then that's pretty much Tanner, but we're gonna come back to him because we've got some other things to cover, but that's his past. Arab is just Brianna's fiance, so we'll go back to him in a second. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, she's out in the sun. She needs to go. I'll just put her right here. I don't know why she's doing that. Come on. Brianna, you're gonna burn to death. Let's go. You're very thin-skinned. Okay, so they're still... I don't play this household too much because, you know, they're immortal, but... Oh, that's another thing about Tanner, though, is I was playing Lucas at one point and came here to visit because he's, like, friends with Cypress, and kind of friends with Cypress. It was before he was in prison, but the two of them right here, Arab and Tanner, would not go inside, and I forgot, like, I panicked, and I forgot that I could just, like, group them up and bring them inside, and Tanner automatically tried to walk to his little house back here instead of going through the front door, and he ended up dying on his way to his house, so Lucas had to beg to bring him back. So Tanner is actually... he's twice dead, okay? So he's a vampire who died and was pled to be resurrected, so he's like twice dead, which is kind of weird, but it's kind of cool at the same time. But I like freaked out when it happened. I didn't think that pleading for him was gonna help. Anyways, back to Brianna. She was October's youngest daughter, and at the time my plans for her was I wanted her to be a tomboy. And so I dressed her in tomboy stuff up until she was a teenager, and I think it was because at the time, I don't know if it was because of the packs that I had, or I just didn't realize like certain outfits and stuff that I had. I couldn't find like clothes for her. So she's a geek, she's materialistic and self-assured. Because her sister's a geek too, and I think this one was given to her without me choosing it. I can't remember. But I couldn't find like tomboyish clothes for her as an adult or as a teenager. So I ended up dressing her in like red and black and stuff. I was like, well, maybe she should go like the vampire route, like Tanner. And for a while they lived next to each other, like, but separately. She would visit him and he would visit her, and they would just hang out, and they were like the best friends. They were cousins. These two are the closest to each other. Like Tanner's very close to his brother, but cousin-wise, Brianna and Tanner are very close. That's why he lives here. When Brianna started having kids, and she'll have more because she's looking to make a vampire family, and I was gonna have all the offspring that she needs to train 3 offspring. Convert 5 Sims into full-grown vampires. I can't remember if that counted towards like Lucy growing up and actually becoming a vampire, because I want all her vampire family to be actual family, not just like people she turns into vampires. But they live together because Tanner moved in when she was like, hey, you want to help with the kids? I know how much you love kids. And Tanner was like, yeah, sure, I'd absolutely love that, instead of staying here by myself. Even though he's like, he's not a loner, but he's lazy and all that. But I mean, he took care of the kids well, as far as I know. Like I said, I didn't really play this. Every time I played this, it was to age up the kids, because I aged up other kids in my other families, honestly. But I'm gonna try to play them more. Obviously, on YouTube, I'm gonna actually play a story or whatever. And I did a little bit with them, like with the kids when they turned into teenagers, when they actually were vampires. Everybody went out with them, and they went to get their first drink as like a tradition, like their first plasma drink. So then there's Lucy, which is the firstborn. She looks, if you look, other than how pale Brianna is, Lucy looks just like her in the face. And then, like, I don't like to dress them as traditional vampires. I like to dress them more as, like, rocker chick or biker, or kind of like, you know, tight clothes, but very punk. Um, she's actually got some fangs on her, too, which is funny. But Lucy is a good vampire, so she will probably eventually start growing plasma fruit for herself and making plasma packs. But until then, she struggles to find a victim, because she's trying to be, you know, she doesn't want to drink without permission, and oftentimes she doesn't have time to establish a relationship, so they'll always deny her, and then she has to like bite the bullet, or the neck, so to speak, and just drink a small amount of plasma at a time and hope that tides her over. But then there's Cypress here, who's a whole different story. Like, she doesn't care either way. She doesn't care who she's drinking from or anything like that, because she she honestly, that's just the kind of person that she is. Did I show you Lucy's traits? I can't even remember what they are. Goofball, gregarious, and self-assured. So she's a little bit of a talker and a friendly sim, but Lucy, I know, is gloomy. She's a muser, gloomy, and lazy. And the thing with her is she's very aware of being a vampire, obviously, as they all are, but she doesn't think she wants to, you know, she doesn't want to be a vampire. She wants to know what it's like to be mortal. So I don't know, you know, that's my story. I haven't even looked into it, but I don't know if it works the same way as, like, if you decide you want to be a vampire, there's a way to reverse it. But if you're born a vampire, I'm not sure if you can become immortal. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look that up. I still haven't done it yet. I always forget. But that's pretty much Cypress's story. But I'm absolutely in love with Cypress. I love the name Cypress. I love everything about her. She's cool. I never played with these Sims, and they're like the coolest Sims that I have. But they're immortal. That's the thing. Like, when I have so many other side stories and stuff going around, and those are Sims that, you know, in order for me to progress, they need to, you know, make more generations and stuff. Where these Sims, it's slow going, because they'll be here for a while. I mean, as long as they stay out of the sun. But that's pretty much the story of everybody in the house. And then if we go back to Arav, him and Brianna are engaged. They've been engaged since before their first child. But because they're vampires, they don't need to rush anything, you know what I mean? I did want to give them, like, a big wedding, though. I didn't want to just do it where they got married in the house, so I just have been waiting until I've wanted to plan a whole freaking wedding. So we should get into this story. Okay, so Tanner is the only one of the 6 kids in this generation who didn't have kids. I say didn't because during my Twitch live stream, I was playing one of my extra Sims that I was saving for Anakin, but because he was a teenager, I was waiting for him to age up so that they could be together, because I made her a young adult. Well, I ended up, like, having her visit the vampires, or I can't, no. She met Tanner somewhere, I can't remember, and they kind of, like, hit it off, and I was like, okay, well, that's fine. And then I was like, you know, because in this game you can't. I used to do a system where I would do try for baby if I rolled 5 20-sided dice, so that's 100%, and I got past a certain percentage, which was like a 5% threshold. It didn't happen very often, but then like I can't even remember why I stopped using that system. But probably just because I wanted it to be how I wanted it to be, and I wanted him to finally have kids, but I wanted it to be in a way where he was like he didn't know if he's gonna have kids or not, type thing. It was like maybe we see what happens type thing, but at the same time, she was a random girl, but they also really liked each other, and they had expressed that already. Um, so they're dating currently. They actually didn't start dating until after she was pregnant, but he was like, "Why aren't we going out?" And she was like, "I don't know. Why don't we just become boyfriend and girlfriend?" Very casual, but like at the same time, they really like each other. And Tanner's been around the block. He's been with a lot of women. He's definitely he knows what he's into and what he's not into as far as women are concerned. But we'll go over there now, as I think you guys have seen her before. Um, we have to go there because the plan is I waited to age up the kids. I usually wait to age up the babies because I can't stand, especially when they're. I said kids. I kind of spoiled it, but I always wait when babies are older, or I mean, their relationship bars are up all the way with their parents to age them up, because babies do drive me nuts in the game. When there's multiples of them, generally it's even worse. But the thing with this was, I can't even remember why I aged them up a little bit prematurely, other than I think it was a space issue. Yes, he Tanner had twins, which is really weird because so did Xander. And Xander had 2 twin boys, so that means there's 2 universe lineage names to go. Whereas Tanner here, he's got 1 boy and 1 girl, so there's another boy that carries the universe name to continue the line, which is exciting. Albeit he's a vampire kid. I was hoping that he might not become a vampire because the mom's not a vampire, but they both ended up having the vampire symbol on them. Alright, guys. Peep the. Oh my god, my voice is cracking. Oh no, he's in the sun. Shoot. I always forget we can't do things during the day. I made him super thick skinned though now. Like, he should be okay for a bit, but I don't even know. Okay. Come on. Let me click the door. Oh, wait, that's right. I think I have always welcome. I'm standing here like an idiot, trying to get him to come inside, and he should have... Yeah. No, don't do that. I can't even remember what I named them. He's Ezekiel. I know the boy. Eva and Ezekiel. She's got blonde hair, which makes a little bit of sense because it is in the lineage. With Sims who have dyed hair, like Pandora was my first Sim I started out with, she had green hair. This color is usually what comes out. This color, or the like a lighter or darker blonde. I have no clue why his hair is red. He came out with red hair. I don't know why. But they're adorable. The reason we have to be here is because she only has 1 toddler. No, does she only have 1 toddler bed in here? She only has 1 toddler bed in here because when I figured out one of them was a vampire kid, I was going to take the other one. But they're both vampire kids. So they had both agreed on Tanner taking the kids if they were vampires. Oh my god, he's doing that floor walk thing. Oh my god. Poor Tanner. But he said if they're vampires, I do want them to grow up, you know, where vampires can thrive better. I want to be able to teach them what it is to be a vampire. And she's like, okay, if they're not, then they're okay to stay here. I just got to figure out a situation. But they're very much like they want to co-parent. I mean, maybe one day she'll decide to become a vampire because her kids are vampires. I don't. Oh my god, Tanner, please get out of the floor. He loves telling stories to the kids. He's always loved kids. I mean, it's a little bit sad that we have to take them away from their mom, but it's not. She'll come over and visit like all the time, and possibly they'll be able to come over during the nights and stuff. Maybe like, and I know this is a long time coming, but since they're vampires, they'll be here. Um, Computer is getting the Sims 4 Seasons, obviously. We won't be getting it for console for quite a while still. But assuming that vampires can thrive better in like stormy weather, cloudy weather, it'll be easier for them to travel and stuff. I mean, I'm constantly having trouble keeping these guys alive, I feel like. She's learning how to sing because I had her lined up for Anakin. She's serenading him through the wall. What kind of nonsense is that? I don't understand why you guys do that. I just don't understand why neither of these kids got black hair, because Tanner's got this hairstyle, but it's not like he dyed his hair black. He had black hair. Juliet had black hair, so he got the black hair. I just don't know where the red hair came from. Oh, what? Why did that give you guys negative on your relationship? This game does weird things sometimes. But I think, okay, so I think Tanner should, like, talk to them and be like, what do you think about, what do you think about coming to live with Daddy? Oh, they went to daycare. So now we're gonna have to wait until they get back from daycare. Tanner, stop doing that weird stuff. You should be, alright. Alright, guys, that felt like it took forever. I cut to when they came back from daycare. It's late though. I forgot that she's an entertainer, so her job is late. It gets out at about 11, I think. Oh no, don't do that. I can't remember which ones are okay, lecture about misbehavior. He's always flirty because he's a romantic sim. I think that's going to get him in a little bit of trouble. I don't know if these kids are going to be the only kids that Tanner ever has, and I don't know if it's going to be by the same woman. Not that, you know, I kind of do want them to stay together, but he's getting thirsty. I think he's going to try to convince her to be a vampire, try to convince her, and she's going to be like, I really don't want that. And he'd be like, but what about your kids? They're gonna, you know, they're gonna be here forever. And it's not that she would be selfish about it, it's the fact that, you know, I don't even know how you would explain that, but it's just one of those things where, like, she never expected this to be her life. She never expected that she would have to live forever just for her kids, so she doesn't feel like she has to. I think it'll be a point where she, like, gets old and Tanner's still with her and she dies, or she says to him, don't be afraid to move on. You know, that his life is eternal. They're so cute. I can't stand it. We'll take them tomorrow. We'll go home. Well, actually, Tanner will just mess around because it's the night. Maybe we'll go visit Xander. And we'll come back in the morning. We'll just say that she wanted one more night with them because she's had them since they were babies, obviously. And Tanner has dropped in often to check on them. But he's always also been checking to see, okay, do we know anything yet? Are they, you know, are they showing signs that they're going to be vampires? And she's like, not yet. And then when the day came that they finally showed signs of being vampires, and she probably felt kind of sad about it, obviously, because she's like, I know we made this deal that we were going to keep them here if they were full human, but you were going to take them if they were vampires, but, you know, you can't expect me not to be upset about it. This is a weird story to talk about, too, because this is obviously not a real-world issue. I mean, if you're a vampire out there watching this and you're like, bullshit, it's not a real-world issue, then I'm sorry, I didn't really know. I guess I'm ignorant to the vampire culture. But anyways, oh my god. Wouldn't that be something? Jeez. Alright, so it's late at night. I am assuming that there's gonna be somebody up here. It's a couple people. I know her. Who is she? Mashami? Maybe not. I thought that... Well, maybe she's been up here before. It's always old people up here, I feel like. It's always elder Sims. She's an adult, but... We're gonna want to... Why can't I drink from her? Is she a... No, she can't be because it gives me the option to turn into a vampire. Well, I guess we can... I don't really like preying on older people, but... Tanner doesn't really care. Ooh. Hold on. Hold on. Go for Gandhi. Go for Gandhi. Pandora 2018. Okay, go. Compel for a deep drink. There you go. Okay, so another thing about this is the Rind household, the other side of them that's Tanner's cousin and cousin-in-law and nieces, when they're in their vampire form, they wear white. Tanner is becoming a master vampire, and he was the first one that I found out about, like, what the whole thing was with the vampire form. He got red. So when they go out together, he's like the devil in disguise, and all the rest of them are like, they wear white, so they look pure, but they're not. It's kind of, I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. Ooh, yes. Go for Robin. She's thick with it. Compel for a deep drink. She's thick with it. She's got, you know, she's got that plasma. Let's go. Tanner goes beast mode whenever he needs to drink. He's like, let me just make sure that I'm good for a while. Robin was a sim that I picked up off the street. That sounds really weird saying that. I took her out of the world and I cast full edit mode, you know, makeover. They're all, wait, stop. They seem like they don't care. But she was a sim that a lot of people probably would recognize. I can't even remember what she looked like in the past, but I changed her around. She got a little bit bigger because she had kids, but she was always kind of thick. So now it is 3:01 in the AM. He should go to the bubble blower for old time's sake. I can't remember which ones are which. I feel like Deepest Plum will make him sad. Cosmic Encounter. I can't remember what these do. I for the life of me cannot remember. He's like, man, it feels weird being back in the city. I'm sure he's like that. He wanted to get out of here so badly, too. It's one of those things, like, when he comes to the city, sometimes I have him eat, like, vendor food because I feel like he misses it. Even though he knows it's going to taste awful and then it's going to make him sick, he always tries to eat the vendor food. Because that's one of his fonder memories was taking his brother down to the food vendors and trying out the foods of the city. He used to cook. Well, I keep saying that, like, he used to cook for Xander and stuff. Well, that's because he did. I mean, Tanner may as well have been his primary care provider. He's got low social, so we should go talk. I don't know if people want to talk to you now, buddy. Freaking, I don't know. Do a friendly introduction. Be like, hey, my girlfriend has those boots. I think he's a little bit weird. Like, he would be like, my girlfriend has those boots, and Rhea, is that her name, would back away. She would just back away over here and be like, okay, be like, they're just really good, nice, I like them a lot. Like, super awkward because he's he just doesn't get out much. Oh wait, we did drink blood from her. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I want to see how it goes. Okay, he's introducing himself. Oh, he's building up a good relationship. So one of my other things is, once I start actually playing this game with you guys, like, I see how I've been observing Sims. Whoa. I've been observing Sims Let's Plays to see how Simmers, like, edit. Recall your immortal life to see. Aw, did you mock her immortality? Or mock her immortality or whatever. Is this Bernard? Ugh. We're leaving. I don't want to be here anymore. We're leaving. I can't deal with him right now. I really can't. I'm trying to... Bernard, every time I'm trying to do something, make yourself useful. Those glasses are so stupid. I'm kind of all over the place right now. But yeah, I've been, no, don't do that. I've been observing other people's Let's Plays and how they edit them and where they cut and stuff, so, like, now I'm letting myself, because I am playing a little bit more, take a break in between, and, you know, if Tanner's doing something but I want him to do something else, just let him finish doing it, so that I can take a breath, so that I can also, like, gather my thoughts and figure out what I want to do next. I'm guessing that's how Simmers do it. It seems that way. They seem a little bit more organized than I am. I'm gonna get this, guys. I'll figure it out, but I'm doing so much on my channel right now that it's like I'm doing a story, like, narrative quantum dream game, so that's like, you don't edit much of it because it's mostly story. And so this, where it takes forever for Sims to do actions or weird things happen, it's gonna take me a while. But now I think we should go back to gather the kids. We should go back. It is early in the morning, but I feel like this would probably be the best time to do it. When I go to, get them, I have a toddler bed on the second floor of the house for Brianna's toddlers when she has toddlers. But I think I'm going to make sure that they have beds in Tanner's little room. I always pause on Tanner's name because I sometimes accidentally call Xander Tanner and vice versa. I don't know why I'm like that. But that's what I get for naming them names that are so close together, I feel like. It's not like extremely close together, but it's like Xander, Tanner, you know. Alright, guys. So we're here, back at the house. We're gonna collect the kids. That sounds really weird to say it that way, but oh my god, what are you doing in the bed? You weirdo? Oh, I'll fix that in a minute. We gotta talk to Natalia. Kiss her hands. I want him to be like, you know, how are you taking this? Are you okay? Are you still okay with this? I want to make sure that you are okay with this whole situation. Like, you seem very cool on the surface, but I don't want this to be Oh, see, look at. I know she's like watching the sports, but he's like, wait, was that like watching the sports? But um, I feel like he might think that the game on TV is just a cover up for her actually being irritated. She's being flirty now, but um, okay, so I'm trying to remember which ones will give me actions that can put me into. You know, people who play The Sims all the time, it's easier for them, but I'm like, I've stepped away from this game for so long, it's gonna take me a second. But I think Tanner's gonna tell her how, like, their life will be really good and, how I know he's gonna tell her how he knows that, it's hard to give up your kids, and you're not giving them up. You're able to come whenever you want to, and I'll make sure that you're protected from the rest of the vampires. And he'll always try to push for her to, like, you know, are you sure you don't want to just come join us? You know, your kids are vampires. We already know this. And she's, why are you in the kitchen cooking? We're trying to have a serious conversation here. She thinks she's making macaroni and cheese for the kids. So they can eat, I guess, as a family. Or she's probably making a serving for just herself. So we'll just talk to her really quick and be like, listen, I'm going to make sure that you get to see the kids as much as possible. And don't forget that I love you. And, you know, I'm sorry that it's got to be like this where we can't live together. And I don't think that it'd ever become an issue for... Oh, baby's crying. I don't think it'll ever become an issue for Tanner where he's like, why don't you just move in? Like, I can't do this if you don't move in. But I think it'll be a thing where he's like, always persistent to try to get her to turn. And by the time that, you know, he'll never convince her, but he'll, try until the day that she dies, and I'm sure he'll be sad about it. And then the whole compared to Lost Love action for vampires will make sense. Little girl here is playing in the pots and pans, which is fine. I let my daughter do things like that too. I'm not gonna stop her. She actually... Okay, so my husband and I are doing we're gonna be starting a new Sim series. I built our apartment, and us to start Sim self Let's Play, and the little girl, Tanner's little girl, has the same hair as her. Slightly different color blonde, but they kind of look very similar. Alright, so Tanner's just gonna check on Ezekiel here. He needs to be changed, so I think he should stop talking to Natalia and change. Oh god, we got a tough kid on our hands? Oh my goodness, they're gonna have attitudes. It's not that Tanner really has an attitude. What is up with them playing in the toilet? Tense from... Disobedient toddler tantrum. Well, buddy, you know, you're taking these kids with you, so we're gonna keep the bed here because she's gonna be able to have them over at some point. As kids, they're not affected by anything, but she can't keep them both here. He's telling her, I'm about to take them, so you better say goodbye. Until you come to visit, or we come to visit. This is a very weird premise, but, like, I don't know any other way to go about this when they're vampires, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so I'm gonna do it this way, guys. I'm going to... Whoops. You have to be... Okay, I'm gonna add to family. How many spaces do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we have enough for both. I was almost freaked out. Okay, so now they are in our household. I never do it like that. I always go the long way. I don't know why I don't. When I have cheats enabled, I might as well. So now the problem with them is hungry and tired. Tired. Okay, so let's all go home. We're gonna go home. And by the way, like, I never talked about it, but he already talked to Brianna about it. He said, like, listen, I found out that my kids are vampires, so he was like kind of hesitant on it, and she's like, dude, I know. They're welcome. We'll make sure that they have room here. Brianna's all about the big family. Even if she wasn't a vampire, I'm sure she would want like a big family. I feel like that's how her and Eleanor only wanted 2 kids, but is very accepting of having more kids. Like when Jar Jar was a thing, she was like, all right, we just have another kid. That's cool. Whereas Brianna's like, oh my god, more children. Let's take them all in. I mean, look at this full household. It's gonna be chaos. I feel like sometimes when there's a lot of Sims in a house, it gets crazy. And we're back, guys. I gotta get Tanner inside as soon as possible. We are going to get him in here. Oh my god, what is happening? Why are they all standing inside the furniture? What the actual heck? I hope that the kids can at least go up this little bit of stairs, but I'm not sure. Oh my god. Alright, let's see if we can bring them here. Go here. Go here. They're trying to get to the toddler bed that's up there, but what I'm actually gonna do is we're gonna move this down here. The other thing is vampires don't need to eat, so every time I have kids, I'm just like, what are they even gonna eat? Because none of the... I think Brianna finally did level up her cooking skill because... Well, Lucy cooks, I feel like. I think she might even be more skilled cooking for Cypress. Tanner does have the skill. I always forget that, too. I don't think I ever made him cook. Alright, so there's 2 toddler beds in here. This is going to be one of those things where I'm going to end up having, like, Tanner cook in bulk. And then... Why is it not giving me the option? Oh, wait. Not on him. We're going to serve brunch, I guess. I don't want him to, like, grab a serving. Although I can just pull it out of his hand, but that's just a pain. But what we can do is because this is what I usually do. I cook, I leave it on the counter, and the toddlers grab it. I never mess with high chairs because they become a pain. But if Tanner cooks this so that the kids can eat, and then I click it and drag it to that house, they'll be able to eat from there. And I don't know, because the rest of them didn't really do aging up the way that they're supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to stay toddlers for as long as it says they are supposed to be toddlers, because none of my other Sims were like that. Toddlers, I feel like babies, toddlers, and even children, I skip through. I have like a... If the relationship bar is all the way up for toddlers, and then if the aspiration is done for children, then they get aged up. Because I have them on long life, but for that age, it's too long. Although Parenthood is supposed to be coming out, if that is... I mean, I know that it has been confirmed, but there's always a chance it gets pushed. Cypress' latest classroom assignment is a group project. Her group mates are all pretty smart. Should she try to contribute as much, or just let them do the work? Oh, I can't remember what I went with her. She's a genius, but she's lazy, so... try to contribute, I guess. But anyways, so, like, the chance that it might get pushed back means that it would take longer time for me to... Oh, no. See, I knew he was going to do that. It would take me longer to, I don't want him to eat that. He's going to eat it, and then he's going to get sick. It would take me longer to be able to use the Parenthood pack. They're just laying on top of the bed. That's... I'm going to put a table in here, I feel like. I'm not going to do it right now, because I think we're wrapping it up pretty much. But I'll put a table in here so that they have a table to grab food off of, so they're not just grabbing it off the floor. It's a better situation than being at their mom's where there's only one bed and they have to alternate sleeping and stuff, but I actually never worked it out because I never, after they were aged up, no, wait, stop. After they were aged up, I just haven't played since. They need to eat. Eva, you need to eat. She's got several moodlets going. She needs a bath too. And I need to switch the tub. Okay, so maybe I'll get the table now. I'll make sure they're okay. I'll let them eat. I'll put them to bed, and then I will get the shower and the table, and we'll wrap it up. Okay, you need to sleep. Eva. Eva. Sleep. That seems like my daughter right there. I just can't believe Tanner has kids now. That is unbelievable to me. I mean, I'm the one who did it, obviously, but it's just so... I don't know, it's crazy. Oh my god, he just passed out right on the floor. Brianna was over there and he was like, oh, she's still there. She's like, oh my god, they're so cute, Tanner. They're so cute. And she's like, what are you gonna do about this? Like, do you think they're gonna be okay here? We don't have a lot of money, and Tanner's probably like, I'm gonna really start working on my painting. I'm really gonna start trying to push my art, and because he's a painter, he's probably like, I'm gonna start trying to push my art. Oh wait, and try to sell it as best I can. Everybody's in here. Everybody is in here. I'm starting to get confused a little bit. Alright, there he goes. Going to bed. That's all we needed. We needed you guys to go nighty-night. Then I need Lucy to get out of the shower. Who is that? Who is that? That's Landon. Oh, that's what's-her-face, right? Yeah, Rhea. Get the Gandhi. Is that what I said earlier? And then there's Landon. Why is he looking at her like that? So unfaithful. Landon, keep your eyes in your head, please. Alright, so it's a little weird. They have a side table to share, and then so that they'll be able to have their food right here, just in case. Toddlers are very weird sometimes. That's my problem. So, like, I do what I can to get around the fact that... And I'm not just saying toddlers in The Sims. Toddlers in real life. My daughter is very particular about certain things, but at the same time, she's very easygoing. So, sometimes we do breakfast where it's like, alright, here's a cereal bar. And then at other times, she'll go and, like, pick out her own food and do it herself. She's only 2, and she does things where she's like, I want a banana, and... You know, she'll bring it to you if she can't peel it, but sometimes she'll be able to. She's funny like that. But the thing with this is, like, I had to rearrange the bathroom to put that in there. That almost didn't fit because toddlers needed tubs. They need to be able to eat. They're not going to be able to walk, like, all this way. But we're going to do what we can. We're going to see how this goes. Tanner's already getting to work painting a beautiful picture. Hopefully it'll make money. Let's speed this up, actually. I'm gonna sell it. Alright, so Tanner seems to be suffering a little bit here. But Wolf... Oh, $394. That's not bad. Well, next time we play this, we'll assess the situation, get them all fixed up, get them dad ready, and... I mean, he needs amusement. He's thirsty again. But other than that, he'll be okay. Everybody else is kind of... I've been focusing on Tanner a lot. Everybody else is asleep, but I'm sure they're also having the same problem. I usually bring them in a group to drink. So the next time we get into this, we will do that. We will make sure that they're all taken care of. And we will send the kids to daycare. And then we'll come back. So anyways, guys, it's been fun. I think this one had a little bit more gameplay in it. His plumb bob is like sticking out over the coffin. But I'm having them hibernate. Brianna's at work, so she's the only one not. I'm gonna slow it down though. Next time we'll take care of the babies. And then first we'll take care of the adults because they've been a little bit neglected. But anyways, guys, if you appreciated this, give it a like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell. And I will see you guys the next Saturday. Smooth.